and it hit the bridge on the western side, on this side. And unfortunately, it took down the whole bridge. 8 people died.
We say goodbye to Denmark, Öland.
Yeah, beautiful place. Really had everything.
We're about to head into the Sota Canal right now. We will pass by Smögen as well. So we are making way south along the coast. Nu öppnar den. The bridge is opening. We had to wait like a minute or so. So that was great timing. It's the 3rd time we go through the Sota Canal. But it's the first time that we go from this direction, north heading south. They have let out the cows, eating up the grass. They must be happy too that the summer weather is here. Har du rutt från Norge?
Ja, från Kristiansand.
Wow!
It's a bit more traffic here this time of the year. Felt a bit sorry for the guy from Norway in the rowing boat. A lot of swell. Not from us though. There was a motorboat coming by in like 20 knots, talking on the cell phone and just casually passing him by in 20 knots. That was not very kind.
We ended up going to this beautiful bay because we saw on the map that it had a beach. And once again we could pick up a cruising club mooring for free. Doesn't it look kind of tropical? Like if the trees would have been palm trees instead. We got a neighbor for a couple of hours.
Yeah, we decided not to stay the night here, and instead we're heading into Lysekil, to the marina there. It's going to start to rain tonight, and tomorrow it's going to be a grey and rainy day. So we thought we'd go in there and do some work on the boat instead.
It's a little cold in the wind now.
Yeah, the sun just disappeared.
We're heading south, but the wind is coming straight from the south and it's blowing pretty hard already. 30 knots in the gusts, and it will go up to 40 knots in the afternoon today. We've actually decided that we're gonna make a turn east in a few nautical miles. So we will go, what do you say, like more inland. So we will go actually around the islands of Orust and Tjörn, which are two of the biggest islands here on the coast. So we do this in hope of escaping the strong winds, and maybe we can get some sailing as well, but we'll see. It's already quite big waves.
It's a pretty bumpy ride, so I'm glad we got away pretty early from the harbor. Because right here, the waves, they're bouncing against the rocks and reflects out towards sea again, so you can get quite confused right here because it's open, no islands that protect this area.
It already is.
Yeah, it's already quite confused here. So this is the area you don't want to have engine failure.
It's a roller coaster. It's pretty shallow.
Yeah, and there's even a marking here on the shore. It's warning for confused seas here.
So we have made the turn left, and the sea state is way much calmer in here, and the wind is more from behind. And we are entering Malin currents now in just a couple of minutes. Oof, I'm getting strangled here. And it's warning on the plotter on the chart for strong currents. But we'll see. I don't think it will come anywhere close to the currents that we had in Alaska and Canada or British Columbia.
Right now we're passing by Ellas on the island of Orust, and in here lies Halbergassi or Halbergrassi, and they have their own marina, and also in August they have their own boat show in there. And a little bit further ahead lies Henön, where Najad used to have their production facility, where this boat was produced in 1988. So a lot of famous boats are produced or was produced on this island of Orust. To name a few: Halbergassi, Najad, what else? Malin, Sail yachts, Sweden yachts, Regina, I think. So this island is really the epicenter for boats in Sweden, quality sailboats in Sweden, and I would say also in the world.
Not a lot of currents, but a little bit. We could see it on the red marker over there.
Yeah, what a difference. Flat water, broad reach, doing between 6 and 7 knots. The wind is pretty gusty in here, but that's expected when you have this land mass between us and the wind out at sea. But it's quite nice here. It's like a channel we're sailing in. We can go on this course for a couple of miles, and then I think we're going to anchor. It's called Hjälte, and the place we're going to. It's supposed to be a nice beach there, but unfortunately the weather isn't so nice today, and it's going to rain a lot this afternoon as well, but I think we make a stop there anyway. It looks pretty different here with the trees and everything, just a couple of miles further in the archipelago. More vegetation, more green, and yeah, it reminds me of the east coast of Sweden.
Oh, it's raining, and the wind died. So we only have 0.8 nautical miles left. The anchorage we're going to is called Paradise Bay, and it's quite unique because you can anchor super close to the beach, so you can actually go bow in, but like the bow facing the beach, you throw in a stern anchor and then a bow line to land.
Well, there's already 2 boats here and they're kind of in the middle, so we'll see if there's room for us to swing on the hook. Normally at this place you go against the beach, like Malin said, with the stern anchor and lines ashore, but we won't do that today. What a place! Yeah, and really protected. I mean, out at sea it's around 35 knots now, so we're at 10.7 meters right now, and we have a 3-to-1 scope on the chain out, because it's not a very big place to swing. But that's okay, because it's really good holding and it's protected from the wind here, so great anchorage. And the wind has turned more to the south now. Picked up a little bit, but it's still okay here, very sheltered. So we're thinking we'll have to get ashore and explore the island a bit here.
Found an iron. Perfect for the dinghy.
The wind was howling in the treetops, but on the ground it was calm. On the other side of the forest there was a big meadow with horses and sheep.
Jättestor. And the wind has really picked up now. You can see it on the flag over there. So it was good we arrived when we did, because now it's a lot more wind. It's probably gusting 40 now.
Bra på ro alltså.
Right after we came aboard, the rain started. The next morning the sun was shining and we were continuing inland.
A bigger city in the area. It's on the mainland, and it's about 22 nautical miles, I think.
A very gusty wind today. It goes between 12 knots up to 30 knots. So we only have a little bit of out, but we're still doing between 5 and 7 knots. Right now we have a beam reach heading south on the eastern side of the island of Orust. This is the problem with high winds, and you have lots of islands and stuff, that the wind gets very gusty. Right now we have too little sail up, but then just a second later we could have 30 knots, so we just keep it like this. It's easier. More wind again. Yeah, it really goes up and down the wind. But I think in average we're doing around maybe 5.6 or something like that. One gust of around 30 knots now. Did 7.4. Now we're back down to 6 knots again.
The wind made some choppy seas, but in the evening the wind had dropped and it was so calm in the marina.
We just left Stenungsund and now we're traveling south here, and we're about to go under the bridge going to the island of Schönbrunn. And this bridge was constructed in 1981, I think, because the old one was taken down in an accident in 1980 in January. It was a ship called Star Clipper that was traveling from the south coming in here, and it hit the bridge on the western side, on this side. And unfortunately, it took down the whole bridge. And at the time, the visibility was very bad. It was foggy. So a lot of the cars, or 7 cars that was traveling on the road, they didn't see that the bridge was gone in time. So unfortunately, they drove off the edge and into the water. 8 people died. But luckily, there was a truck driver coming from the eastern side, traveling towards the island. And because it was winter time and really slippery and some snow and ice, he was driving really slowly with his truck. And he could see in time that the bridge was missing. So he stopped the traffic on the eastern side. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case on the western side. It took 45 minutes before they stopped the traffic on this side. And that truck driver, he could see cars coming from the island, traveling towards the mainland, that drove off the cliff. And he tried to warn them with his lights on the truck. But I think the reason was that this ship, it didn't have any cargo, so it was floating pretty high, a bit harder to maneuver. And for some reason, he drifted too far towards that side. And the bridge that was standing here back then, it was lower, I think, on that side. So some of his gantry cranes hit the bridge, and then it took down the whole bridge.
Such a horrible accident.
We're sailing to a place called Hettan today, and there's some buoys from the Swedish Cruising Association that we could pick up. It looks like a very narrow place to get into, but it's supposed to be 3.5 meters, so it should be okay.
took down the sails and drove in the narrow channel into the bay.
I just had dinner and it's quite windy right now, and it's like 20 knots sustained winds, and then it's like 26 knots in the gusts. And it's gonna be a little bit more during the night, so we've decided to actually drop the mooring and just go around the way we came and out there where we'll drop anchor instead, because it feels much more secure.
Being at anchor felt much better, and we got a good night's sleep. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to not miss out on any of our videos. It's all for free. And if you would like to support the videos, you can join our Patreon crew.